Welcome back to Hardball. The Obama campaign's Bain strategy, criticizing Mitt Romney for his work with Bain Capital, is paying dividends in crucial battleground states. New data from Kantar Media shows that from early April through late June, 100% of the ads sponsored by pro-Obama super PAC Priorities USA mentioned Bain Capital by name. The super PAC showered the swing states with multi-million-dollar ad buys aiming to chip away at Romney's purported business bona fides. And both the Obama and Romney campaigns agree the ads are working. Eugene Robinson is an MSNBC political analyst and columnist for The Washington Post. Mother Jones Magazine's David Korn is also an MSNBC political analyst and author of Showdown. Eugene, when I hear that they're doing it by super PAC, it tells me that it's not an ad that requires the president at the end saying, I'm Barack Obama and I approve this message. Very, very successful, and yet the president maintains some distance from it.
Right. The president gets to have clean hands in all of this while allies go after Mitt Romney on what he portrays as his strength, his business, his record in business, his record of success. He says that qualifies me to be president. And the president's side is arguing, well, wait a minute. Let's look at what he did in business and look and see if this is the kind of experience we want in a president of the United States.
It reminds me, David Korn, of Governor Romney's handling of his religion. In other words, it's a subject he seems loath to discuss. He'll talk about his record as creating jobs, vaguely described, maybe a reference to Staples or some other business, but you just don't hear him address the nitty-gritty of Bain. Is it because he has no message that he can sell in that regard? I mean, what's holding him back?
I think because the nitty-gritty is kind of dirty. I mean, I don't want to be too pejorative here, but their point was, and the president has made this point himself, not in ads, but in remarks, that Bain's existence was to create profits, not jobs, for the investors. And sometimes that led to good results for the firms they bought. Other times, as Priorities USA and others are pointing out, it led to disastrous results for the workers. And so if you get into the nitty-gritty of the private equity world, it's not necessarily a template that you want to bring to the White House. So if could Mitt Romney come on this show, as if he would ever, and talk for 10, 15, 20 minutes about some of the details of the deals he did, or where his initial investment money came from, Salvadoran families? There's a lot in Bain that just wouldn't sit right with middle-class Americans.
Eugene, do you buy into that? I mean, I love Staples. I am a stationery store kind of a guy. Don't ask me why. It's one of my quirks. Isn't there a Staples story that he could be touting in a 60-second spot and walk you through the growth that Bain produced?
I don't know if he would sustain that for a whole 60 seconds. I mean, for a 15-second or 30-second spot, we helped Staples get started, and you have one around the corner from where you live, and it's a great thing you like to go there. But to talk about the details of that deal, I'm not sure that really connects with people.
Well, let's take a look at how these things are being raised thus far. Here's a pro-Obama super PAC Priorities USA ad attacking Romney's tenure with Bain Capital.
Romney bought companies, drowned them in debt. Many went bankrupt. Thousands of workers lost jobs, benefits, and pensions. But for every company he drove into the ground, Romney averaged a $92 million profit. Now he says his business experience would make him a good president. If Romney wins, the middle class loses.
Hey, David, did the Cory Bookers of the world misjudge the impact this would have? And when I say Cory Bookers, you, of course, know I'm referring to those Ds who came out and said, hey, not all things about Bain are bad. Did they not see this coming? Because it seems like outside the Beltway, it played very well.
4 years ago, we had a crash. Wall Street crashed, and really Main Street paid the price with 14 million lost jobs. I think that the Bain attack from the Obama side and the Bain criticism, if you are critique, has to be effective. I don't think Americans like the idea of people like Mitt Romney who get golden parachutes, have golden elevators. He had no risk when he took the Bain Capital job, and also when companies lost money, he still made money. It's sort of this certain type of free enterprise that is maybe not all that free, but very enterprising for the 1%. So I never understood Mayor Booker's arguments. President Clinton referred to this, and others did. I think this is this cuts to the heart of Mitt Romney's values.
Well, when I say they've been effective, let me back that up, because the latest NBC Wall Street Journal poll, and we showed it on Hardball last week, shows evidence of how effective the Obama campaign's Bain strategy may be. Of people in the dozen swing states polled, just 18% said that what they've heard about Romney's business career gives them a more favorable opinion of him. A third of the group said they formed a more negative opinion. The swing state polling is worse for Romney than the national numbers, which show a significantly closer split. Eugene Robinson, your reaction to those numbers?
Well, first of all, I think they're targeting the right swing states from the Obama campaign's point of view, because as you said, the impact seems to be greater there than nationally. I think that the interesting disconnect is between kind of the New York-Washington Acela line axis, which all seem to think that private equity is fine, and why are the president's people being so mean, and the rest of the country, which really doesn't, which has a problem, I think, with this particular style or this slice of capitalism.
Well, I agree with you for what it's worth. I think it's because everybody in that Acela corridor has a relative or knows somebody, or if they're a politician, took money from someone who's in that. Mitt Romney's campaign is pushing a new line of attack that will aggressively portray Obama as a craven political figure. According to the New York Times, it revived this 4-year-old footage to make its debut ad. Let's watch this.
Barack Obama's attacks against Mitt Romney, they're just not true. The Washington Post says on just about every level this ad is misleading, unfair, and untrue. But that's Barack Obama. He also attacked Hillary Clinton with vicious lies.
He continues to spend millions of dollars perpetuating falsehood. So shame on you, Barack Obama.
David Corn, I don't know. There's a lot more recent footage out there from the GOP side where they're all sniping at one another. Is that effective to dust off Hillary from 4 years ago?
I don't think Hillary is a big critic of Barack Obama these days. You have Newt Gingrich calling Mitt Romney a liar just a couple months ago. You could dust off, miles of footage of John McCain saying similar things about Mitt Romney from the 2008 campaign. Listen, this is one thing I don't understand about the Romney strategy and some of the super PACs on his side. Barack Obama, I don't know if they got the memo. He's been president for 3.5 years now. Americans will and can judge him on what he's done as president. No one's going to look at what he did or didn't do in 2008 and what was said or not said about him that far back. It's kind of idiotic.
I think it's also a reflection of her strong numbers, and that's why they're using it. Thank you, Eugene Robinson. Thank you, David Corn. We appreciate it.